Wednesday 5, Forest Green 0. Sorry I've not been about this week. Had a few things on it in the week and then a few late shifts coming into end of week, so unable to get my videos out and done for you. So no preview or all like that. But review of today's game. Wednesday took on Forest Green, promoted last season from League 2, and in the end actually demolished them. We'll have a quick look at the team news. Wednesday lined up in the now recognisable 3-5-2, Stockdale in goal, Iofa, Heckway and McGuinness across the back, Liam Palmer, George Byers, Tyreek Backinson and Barry Bannon across the middle with Marvin Johnson as left wing back, and up front Windass and Gregory. Forest Green played well, on paper it was actually meant to be 3-5-2, but with Wednesday's start it ended up being a 5-3-2. So they went with McGee in goal, a back five really of O'Keefe, Bernard, Moore Taylor, Cargill and McAllister. Three across the middle, Stevenson, Pate Harris and Davis, and Brown and Matt up front. Brown Matt, sounds like a paint finish. Anyway, so that was the Forest Green team. Now I thought Rochdale's kit were bad, but that today might be worst I've seen. I don't know what it represents. If it were green with black bits, I could say, oh, is that the skeletal outline of tree branches, or the forest canopies, but it's just horrific. I don't know what's going through head. Only makes me more appreciative that we this season have gone back to simple, classic, beautiful kits. Anyway, so that were the Forest Green team. A quick look at their results going into the game. So Forest Green's last 5 league results, they've got a 2-1 against Bristol Rovers away from home, a 2-1 defeat at home against Ipswich Town, which, not a bad result in all things considered. Lincoln City 1-1, decent result. Most recently though, a 3-0 spanking at home by Plymouth Argyle. And of course just before today, before they played Wednesday, a 3-0 cup defeat to Brighton. So some worries for them that they've conceded 11 goals without replaying the last 3 games. It was an absolutely blistering start from Wednesday. They come flying out of the traps, and I don't really think Forest Green knew what had hit them. Liam Palmer, who's been playing really well this month, he's our right wing back. 3 times in the first 2 minutes he pops up in their box getting on the end of things, which I think for Forest Green sort of let them know early doors what sort of afternoon they were in for. Wednesday really going for it jugular. Their centre half, was it Taylor Moore or Moore Taylor, whatever they called him. He made a brilliant last ditch tackle on Gregory after some really slick 1-2 round the edge of the box and then a little slide ball into him. And Wednesday were looking, it would only a matter of time before they scored a goal. No surprise when Windass opens proceedings, ball from Bannon over to Palmer. He does a little shimmy, gets past the man, gets a shot away. It's half cleared by the keeper, but it falls to Windass, and it's he sweeps it on for 1-0. It's no less than Wednesday deserved, and they did take a bit of a shellacking in that first 5-10 minutes especially. They're not really getting hold of ball, but they're not trying to get hold of ball. They sat in and saying, well, try and break us down. But the problem for them that they got is that Wednesday looked like they could very easily break him down at will, and were. The odd times they did get the ball forward, the passing was sloppy, and Backinson, he's not your traditional holding midfield player in terms of charging about and getting a foot in, but just right time, right place, always there with these little interceptions, just as this habit of popping up. And it was a really dominant start from Wednesday. No surprise when we got a second. Liam Palmer down the right hand side, Lincoln again with Iofa. Talked about this in the last game. Signs of a little partnership developing there. It's a bit old fashioned, having little partnerships all over pitch. Them two linked really well today. Raking arid ball from Palmer right over the spots, Bannon making a run on the far side. And their defender, I almost feel a bit sorry for him. He sticks out a toe. He just gets a little bit on it and sort of stops ball going to Bannon for first time volley. But he probably actually does him a favour because he actually brings it down for him, and then Baz just lofts it over at keeper who's sort of in no man's land. I was really surprised actually at Forest Green. Obviously they've not got a massive budget. To the smaller club, I think the average gate's about 7,000 or whatever, 8,000. Not a huge budget. They can't go out bringing in best players in division. So I thought, coming in, they might just try and make it an ugly game. Do you know what I mean? I thought I don't want teams to come here and do a Wickham or a Gillingham or any of them other sides who play them sort of games. But I did think they might be a bit tighter. I thought they might try and rough us up a little bit or try and make it into a battle, but I thought they were very passive in the tackle. The only player who I thought had got the mentality to try and make it into a scrap was O'Keefe, who was the right back. He ended up on left actually in the second half, but he was the only one who looked like he got that bit of sort of metal about him. No, let's try and make it a little bit ugly and a bit of a scrap. But the rest of them very passive and let Wednesday have it their own way. I do like that McGuinness. There's a confidence to him. We've seen Hegwood playing the left of the three. We've seen Iofa playing the left of the three. Liam Palmer, and even going into last season, Storey, Hutchinson. Got a right foot centre half on left of that three. A lot of them do find it difficult. They either wanting to come inside into midfield with a passing because they all like to do that little roll with outside at boot, don't they? Just bring it in and then pass it into midfield where it's often congested. You don't get that natural balance of being able to go down the line. And the other thing is, quite often they end up facing back and having to put it back to keeper because of that discomfort with opening body and going with left side. Now McGuinness is right foot, but it doesn't seem to bother him. He just strides forward with ball, uses his left foot if he has to, but even with his right foot, he's still not afraid to take it out there on left hand side. He doesn't always come in or go back, so I like the look of him a lot. Also very noticeable that they were putting two men on him at times when we were getting corners because he is a unit, and that was just creating them little bits of space for us to get other people on end of things. But I think he's going to be a real good loan signing for us. I mean, they are really passive. They're not attempting to close down, which fair enough, get men behind the ball, but they're not even really hitting us with a sort of 18-yard closing down or press. They're just letting us sort of have the ball. Now we're playing really well, but they were very passive. And I think what probably highlights that more than anything is Stockdale spends almost the entirety of the first half. He's not even in his own 18-yard box. He's literally stood 2-3 yards outside his box for nearly the entirety of the first half. 3-0, Liam Palmer, that's 2 in the last 2 games. What a season he's having, by the way. And I'll tell you what, he's done this 10k a day thing. He was raising money for charity. If this is part of the reason why, next summer, I'd be like, right, all you, 10k a day, all through summer, I'll see you at pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Get them all out doing it, because if it has the same foot it's having on him. Unbelievable. What a ball though by Bannon. It's over on this side. There's a kid within about 3 foot of him. He don't really make any attempt to get in the way even. It's really bad, but it's a fantastic ball by Bannon. Outside at boot, pings it over to other side to Palmer, and he just charges on into box. Keeper does well to make a sort of first time save, but he just tucks on the rebound, and it's a complete collapse from them, in all honesty. Windass gets taken out on far side of the pitch, and then down on touchline there's a bit of an altercation, and it's Marvin Johnson ends up getting booked. Their lad O'Keefe gets booked, and that's what I was on about, that skirmishing. Obviously a little bit of fire in this O'Keefe's belly, and I think if they're going to survive this season, I think it's going to be a very tough season for him. they're going to need the other 10 players on part to have a similar attitude to that O'Keefe, because you can say it's a daft booking and this out, but at least he was showing a bit of needle. 25 minutes, they have a little spell where they're having the ball and they're trying to play nice little stuff, although not really with any tempo, and there's no real crispness to the passing. And it's more or less you're waiting for him to get ball away. Wednesday aren't pressing them. Wednesday just like, okay, we'll drop back in. We've got a 3-0 cushion, have ball for a bit, but they weren't really any threat or going anywhere with it. And like I said, player like Backinson, now and again when opportunity comes, he was just stepping into pass and that, yep, cheers lads, I'll have that. As good as Wednesday were in that first half, I've got to say I think they're really going to struggle this season. That was as poor a performance I've seen from a side at Hillsborough for a long time. Stroke at half time, it's 4, and it's Gregory. It's a fantastic finish. Bannon, who's been afforded freedom of Hillsborough and having a right old time of it, he's all over the show. He's loved it today, don't worry about that. They've just given him so much freedom, and what ability he's got, if you give him that freedom, you can say it to bits really. So the 4th goal's Gregory, who, it's ironic, in the first half I actually thought him and Windass were pretty quiet. Gregory more so, kept slipping over. Don't know if he got his studs in or what, but for all the ball we had, we weren't actually getting it to strikers that much, which is emphasised with a stat that I've seen, which is at half time, Wednesday had 51% of ball, they'd had 49%, which for the game that was complete Wednesday domination, that wouldn't seem to make sense, but we let them have it once we got the goal and say, yeah, have it. You're not going anywhere with it. But that would also explain why our forwards perhaps didn't see as much of the ball, because it wasn't all possession based from Wednesday. We were pinging it about as well, getting crosses in and sitting back when we had to. Lovely finish from Gregory to get back to goal. Little cute 1-2 with Bannon. Takes a little bit of a lucky deflection, but it's a lovely goal. Steps onto it, sweeps his foot right round it, full curl. McGee's got no chance, and the game had been over as a contest after about 15 minutes, in all honesty, even before we'd added to the goals tally. 4-0, game over, and in a way I sometimes think that's a bit of a shame. I know that might sound daft. Want Wednesday to win, want Wednesday to score loads of goals, of course I do, but they would have poured out for it, and I don't take much pleasure in a cricket scored against a team who they really offered nothing, and I don't take any pleasure from that. It looked a bit of a mismatch of a game. Wednesday didn't have to do anything second half. We didn't have to come out and play second half, and as it panned out, it was a little bit like that. But I don't take any huge pleasure from that. Wednesday scored 4 goals, fantastic. Nice to see some good football. Nice to see the tempo that we're moving it around and zipping about. Bannon and Byers especially doing really well. But they would have poured out for it. That looked like, when a pub team gets forced into County Cup by Elmshire FA and ends up somewhere in North Yorkshire playing against a team who are slipping backhanders to players to play for them, you know what I mean? There was a gulf there, a real gulf. Good penalty claim for Wednesday start of second half. Palmer bursts into box again. Absolute theme of today's play, that were. Nudges it past one. He's just angling for his shot. Goes down. There's a man out left of him, man out right of him. I think it must got to be a penalty. There's no reason for him not to try and get a shot away there. So, but again, the fact that it was such a one-sided game, when we didn't get a penalty, I weren't that bothered. I was a bit like, oh, that was a penalty. Yeah, well, at a 0-0, I'd have been screaming my head off. But it was that sort of game. It sort of lulled you personally. Do you know what I mean? I saw Liverpool-Bournemouth result, this afternoon. And when I saw it, my first thought weren't, oh God, I can't wait to see Match of the Day tonight and see all the goals. I bet that were good. My first initial thought was, poor bastards. 'Cause that's how I am. Poor bastards. Because we've all been at end of one of them at some stage or other. And yeah. Gregory, I thought Gregory had got on the score sheet, apparently would on own goal, but a lovely little 1-2 with Palmer and Bannon. Bannon puts it out to Backinson. And we've talked about this in other videos. He crosses it into the space. Best sorts of crosses in the world, then puts it into the space for Gregory to attack. The defender gets in there and tries to, put him off, get a bit on it, and well, he does get a bit on it. He looks like he inadvertently knocks it into the net, and it sort of dribbles over that line for 5-0, and it was over as a contest in the first half. Now it's a bit like a pre-season friendly game in the second half from a Wednesday point of view. They make about 5 changes, and they actually look a bit more sparky after that, but Wednesday were nothing to do anything. Wednesday could let them have ball, and obviously we want a clean sheet. Goal difference at the end of the season can be them fine margins, can't it? But they were coming forward a little bit more than having a go at it, and I suspect their gaffers probably said, just get them poor buggers behind goal, something to cheer about, let's at least get a shot on target, let's try and nick a goal. So they were a bit more at it after the break, but as I said, there was a gulf in quality, and Wednesday were able to rest players, Bannon, who's had a fantastic game today. That's his best game of the season for me, Bannon. Got to have first glimpse at Wilkes, who had a bit of an acrobatic overhead kick from a Patterson cross. A good game management from Darren Morey, because he was able to rest people with scoreline. I could have possibly made some changes a little bit earlier, because it was over as a contest at half time. But all in all, good result for us, great for our goal difference. I can see it being a really long, hard season for them, Forest Green, unless they can get a few players in, because it did look a gulf, that first half. All credit Wednesday, fantastic performance. Move the ball quickly, getting numbers in box, right wing back in box, like I said, 3 times in the first 2 minutes of match. Really good attacking play, but they were a poor outfit, and I do feel for them actually looking at rest of the season ahead, unless they can do something, come up with some sort of plan. Nobody likes it, but they might have to, do a Wickham or a Gillingham or one of them sort of sides. Professional performance from Wednesday, did what they had to do. A lot of times last season it wasn't the better sides that we struggled against, it was the poorer sides, the teams at the wrong end of the table. We couldn't break them down. Sometimes they came with shithouse tactics, sometimes they just sat behind the ball. Today was good, potentially going to be one of them games, but they stuck to the task, they went for it, they kept it up, they kept that pressure up, and they made that extra quality tell, which is something that we sometimes didn't do last season. A lot of teams did frustrate us. But great results. Yeah. So.
So long, farewell, our readers say adieu.
Sheffield Wednesday's 26-year-old forward Soloso has joined Dutch second division club De Graafschap. I'm saying that right. For an undisclosed fee. The 26-year-old scored 5 goals in 23 appearances for Wednesday. Not bad record that actually, 5 in 25. Most of them must have been from bench. I think the problem So always had is I didn't particularly know what he were. Was it left winger, right winger, in the hole, centre forward? I just don't know what he were. And I don't think he ever particularly had a long enough run in the side to really show us what he might be capable of. But wish him all the best. Been running on this rumour about him And as soon as Wilkes come in, I think that would always going to be the the sort of death knell on the Sillasoe career at Hillsborough. But good luck to the lad. Undisclosed fee. I wonder what that is. Probably enough for the pie and chips. Right. I'm off now because it is 3 a.m. I know, daft innit. I will see you for the midweek preview if I get time. I'll leave you with the happy news that Wednesday's had a fantastic start to the season, ratcheting the goals up, and we're actually looking like a top quality side now. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is we keep getting these little knocks at the back. We're only ever a couple of injuries away from a crisis back there. Overall, great start to the season. A quick look at the table then. Portsmouth top, 14 points, level with Ipswich Town. You know, that 3-3 on opening day of the season, that's not looking like too bad a result actually now when you look at that. Wednesday up there, 3rd place, played 6, won 4, just the one draw. That defeat away at Peterborough, who were 1 place below us, 1 point below us, which again I think shows that result with 10 men. Dirty me. Plymouth and Derby, no surprises there. I think already the table, I know it's only 6 games, it's shaping with the teams you would expect to be up there, being up there. But yeah, good start from Wednesday, well placed, and those 5 goals today done wonders for goal difference.